Good afternoon, middle school students. I am stopping by today to give you a video to clarify some questions that I have been receiving from students. But before I start there, I just want to let you know how much I miss you, how much I miss seeing your faces and talking to you. So, I am here to explain the concept of distance learning. Now, a lot of students are asking me, how do they attend classes? So, before I explain and go through Schoology to show you how to find your assignments, I want to take a few steps back and talk about the concept of distance learning. Okay? So, what is distance learning? Distance learning is learning at a distance. So, when we were on campus, you attended your classes every day. So you attended your first, your third, your fifth advisory. Other days you attended your second, your fourth, your sixth in your advisory. Some days on Mondays we attended first through sixth. Okay? So now that we're at a distance, now that we are no longer physically present on campus, we are still learning, we are still attending classes, it just looks a little different. So, distance learning is a lot like in-person learning. The major difference is that we're not in front of each other. And although we're not face-to-face physically in front of each other, there are still ways where we can have instant communication, okay? So, in distance learning, there's two types of learning. There's instant communication learning, and there's delayed communication learning. Okay? And there's words for that. So, when we're talking about the instant communication where you are talking to me, I am talking to you, this can take place via Zoom, where we're live together on camera. We're either chatting in the chat box or we're speaking and we're seeing each other, or we may be texting. So there's some platforms that have texting and we're texting and we're getting immediate responses from each other. There's Google Hangouts. There's different platforms that your teachers can use. There's email, where your teacher is expected to sit in front of the email and respond back to you. Okay, so that's one facet of distance learning. And again, that's that instantaneous communication. I'm speaking to you, you're responding without a delay. So that's called synchronous learning. Okay, but there's also another aspect of distance learning. So your feedback is delayed. Your lecture may take place by looking at a video or looking at some slides. Sorry. Let's go to airplane mode. Okay, sorry. So, the delayed communication can happen again. You can have a lecture where your teacher records themselves, like I'm recording now. So they can speak you through the lecture, show you everything using different screen software where you can see what's happening, much like you see my Schoology right now. Okay? They can also do this by uploading PowerPoint slides where the lecture is within the slides and you can go through slide by slide to see the information that your teacher want to give you. Okay, this is called asynchronous learning. It's still learning, it's still attending class, but your feedback is delayed and you don't have your teacher in front of you to answer your question immediately. However, you still can message, you still can send an email, and your teacher will get back to you during either their office hours or during the hours that they set that they're returning emails. So they are getting your message, but the communication is delayed. So those are the two ways to have distance learning. Asynchronous, which is delayed, and synchronous, which is instantaneous, meaning we're talking back to back. Okay? So I had a question about how do I attend classes? Well, that looks different for each teacher. And you should check your teacher's Schoology page, look at the updates, and look at the announcements to see how learning is going to happen that day. So for example, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we go to periods 1, 2, 3, advisory, 4, 5th, and 6th. So during that first period time slot, your teacher may schedule a Zoom, or they may schedule a Google Hangout, or they may upload the lecture either in a video or a PowerPoint or any other way that they choose to deliver your lesson. Okay? It's still attending class. So for example, I am going to use 7th grade English as an example, okay? So just like going to your courses, I'm going to click courses, and I'm going to see all of my courses here. And if you notice, I have a lot of courses. You shouldn't have as many, but if you don't see it immediately, just scroll until you find it, okay? So I am looking for 7th grade English, and I'm just going to choose 7th grade, let's say period 6. So now that I'm on classes, there's two areas that may come up first, okay? Yours may come up automatically on the updates, which is a good place to have, a good place for your Schoology to land. And I'll make a separate video showing you how to set that up. But the great thing about that is that the first thing you see when you log on to that class are the announcements, okay? So anything that your teacher wants to show you comes up, okay? So I am in 7th grade English, and I see an announcement, and I see a schedule. So I see on Monday, there's no asynchronous learning, so there's no instantaneous feedback, okay? But there's an assignment. So this is 6th period, during that 6th period time slot, I should be checking my materials and finding my assignment, okay? So we're gonna back up a little bit. So I started you out on updates. And again, this is important because your teacher leaves any information in the feed that you may need. And this is most often where you would find your Zoom assignments, your Zoom schedules, okay? Now I'm going to go to materials, because materials are where you find your assignment, the thing that you're supposed to do. So I'm going to click on materials, and I'm going to scroll down. And each teacher organizes their materials in different ways, okay? So become familiar with your teacher's Schoology page. I am looking at English 7, and I notice that she organizes folders by week, okay? So she's making it very easy for you to find what you're supposed to be doing at any given time. So right now we're in week 14. We're April 20th today. So this is where I know that I can find the current lessons for this week. So I'm going to click there. Okay, so I see a 14-week lesson, and this is a video. It's an MP4. So is that a video or audio? I'm not sure offhand. I think that's a video actually. So no, MP4 is audio. It doesn't matter. That's your lesson. So you'll click on that and you'll hear the content that your teacher wants to deliver you. Now, is it asynchronous? No. But by logging into here and watching this video is still considered attending class, okay? So I'll go through, I'll do the week 14 lesson. I'll do this looks like a video. I see an assignment. It says make a submission and I see a quiz. Okay, so these are your assignments. Now, again, the question was, how do I attend class? Well, by going into your materials, opening up the lessons for that week, and looking at the materials that your teacher has assigned to you is considered joining class or attending class, okay? Now, using the 7th grade as an example, the teacher posted the week schedule in the announcement. So if you notice, attending class on Monday consists of completing the vocabulary hunt number 2. So that's your class time, okay? Tuesday, your class time consists of watching the lesson for week 14. That's your class time. Wednesday, there is a Zoom call. So you guys will be live. You guys will have that synchronous communication. So you can ask questions about the assignment from Monday and Tuesday. She says here that you guys will be reviewing lessons and you guys will have question and answer. So that is still attending classes. You will log in during 6th period, because I'm in the 6th period class, or whatever period you may have, you log in during that time, and your teacher will either usually provide you a Zoom ID, or what I noticed in this English 7, there is a Zoom room. So this teacher has already set up the Zoom room, and on Wednesday during your allotted time, you click there and you will be in that Zoom class. Okay? So I hope that helps, and I hope that explains what attending class may look like. It's not always live, it's not always on Zoom, it's not always synchronous. However, your assignments are expected to be completed whether you're live in front of the teacher or not. You can always send your teacher a message. You can always ask a question through email or through the message function, and your teacher will get back to you during their email return time or during their office hours. You may not get it instantaneously like synchronous, but you will get a response. So rest assured, your teacher is getting your information, and as long as you're completing your assignments day by day as they're assigned, you are attending class, okay? Remember, your teachers can see your interaction. They can see that you're on Schoology. They can see that you're completing work. They obviously can see when you're submitting work. So every day is important for you to engage. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And keep the questions coming, because I love making sure that you are comfortable with continuing your education and making the best grades possible and continuing your learning. Okay? Again, I miss you so much, and I look forward to your questions. Remember, I do have office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 o'clock. So if there's anything that you need help with, if you need to continue with these questions, or you just want to stop in and say hello, please stop by. All right? See you soon.